And on this Monday, March 16th, 2026 edition of Newsmakers, an intercepted Iranian missile attack sprayed shrapnel through Jerusalem's Old City today, hitting the rooftop of the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate, just yards from the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, built on what is revered by many Christians as the site of Jesus' crucifixion, burial, and resurrection. There were no reports of injuries. Israeli police also said shrapnel from the Iranian missile interception fell in the sprawling compound of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, revered by Jews as the Temple Mount, and in the Old City's Jewish quarter. Pope Leo XIV has urged a ceasefire in the Middle East and called on leaders in the Iran war to reopen talks. On Sunday, he spoke in his noon blessing and condemned attacks on schools, hospitals, and homes. Leo also highlighted rising humanitarian risks in Lebanon and worried about vulnerable Christian communities. He kept his language indirect and avoided naming countries. Dutch police are hunting for two suspects who set off an explosion outside a Jewish school in Amsterdam. Rika Ann Garcia reports.
The city mayor Femke Halsema and the justice minister denounced the blast as a cowardly attack. An explosive went off near a wall. The police and fire department arrived almost immediately and prevented further problems. Nevertheless, it remains an attack near a school intended to instill fear in children and their parents. The city hall released a statement saying the explosion caused only limited damage. Security around Jewish schools and other sites had been reinforced after a recent explosion near a synagogue in Liège, Belgium, and another blast at the entrance of a synagogue in the Dutch port city of Rotterdam. I'm Rika Ann Garcia.
A new bill moving out of an Iowa House subcommittee would impose a penalty of up to 5 years in prison for disturbing a church service. Supporters say they stand by First Amendment rights, but what they call intimidating children and women in church services is inappropriate. Opponents say current state disorderly conduct law covers those types of disturbances, with judges having the discretion to impose a penalty. The bill was introduced after anti-ICE protesters interrupted a church service in Minnesota earlier this year. An American astronaut is telling the story of what was supposed to be a quick trip to space that turned into nearly 10 months aboard the International Space Station. Barry Butch Wilmore will release a memoir called Stuck in Space tomorrow, March 17th. It marks 1 year since his return from a 286-day mission that was originally supposed to last just a week or two. The book reflects on being unexpectedly stranded in orbit and how Wilmore leaned on discipline, leadership, and faith to get through the isolation. And that's Newsmakers for this Monday, March 16th, 2026 edition. I'm Keith Black.